With nearly infinite information available to us, it is amazing how some of us are not totally sure what our physical well-being means to us. By contemplating personal physical health, we will learn more about the things that influence our physical image. Some people know very little about the topic of physical well-being, and for those people, this will be a great introduction to what physical well-being is, as well as how they can utilize information to improve themselves or just satisfy the curiosity of themselves. There are those who know quite a lot more about physical well-being, and for those people, this will be good to remind you of the information that you already know, as well as increase your desire to continue your learning about physical health and physical well-being. For myself, I feel like I have gone through my own self-image journey, and that has given me a lot of information, but as well as borrowing information from several influencers and videos and articles from my own research. I have 3 topics that I want to discuss, and that would be our diet, exercise, and rest. The first one I want to cover is our diet, and I want to first emphasize and explain how we break down food groups in a way, and I think that knowing what macronutrients is important. The 3 main macronutrients are protein, carbohydrates, and fats. Protein is responsible for muscle development, as well as controlling the structure of our organs and tissues and all those things. Carbohydrates are sugars that provide energy for our body, and fats are a high calorie form of energy. It is not sugars, but it is also a form of energy for our body. Many of us hear about types of diets. There are so many. There are things like keto diet, vegetarian, vegan, paleo diets. There's different interval fasting diets. There's all sorts of these diets, and it seems like we can never understand what we really need in our lives because so many people are following these certain diets that everyone hears about, and that brings me to my next point. Like, what diet do we need? I think that in my experience, the most important diet for you is the one that is sustainable for you. Now, does that mean you need to be all healthy and you need to follow that top percentage of people who are the social media influencers that all of us want to be like? That does not necessarily mean that we need to strain ourselves and restrict ourselves. A sustainable diet can be anything that will work for you. I think that a diet should be a lifestyle, and whatever you can do to make a healthy lifestyle, then that is the diet that you should participate in. And if that starts with substitution, which is my next point, then that is excellent. If maybe your first substitution would be when you go out, instead of getting the side of fries, get the side of salad instead. Or instead of having the higher calorie sweet, there are so many alternative low calorie sweets that are potentially just as satiating that you can enjoy as well. And maybe those small changes is all that you need, and that's all about that mindset and just what you feel is the most sustainable for you. That just covers some basic nutrition and food, what macronutrients are, kind of demystify the need for a diet that is marketed so commonly for us, and just find something sustainable for you is very important. The next point I want to mention would be exercise. Why do we exercise? Many of us know that it can help combat various negative health issues and diseases. But a lot of people don't think that exercise can actually make your daily life easier as well. As we exercise more, the easier things, the menial things of the day they just get easier. And it's also helpful for muscle management and weight management as well. I read an article, and it's called Control of Muscle of Mass. It says both resistance and endurance exercise regulate protein balance and satellite cell inclusion. However, resistance training has a higher potential than endurance training to increase muscle mass. And that's just one example of what exercises you're going to be looking for. If you want to look for a higher muscle mass and more muscle mass, then maybe you need to encourage more resistance training into your routine. If you are looking for endurance and maybe you want to do more cardio, it's up to you. That's just one of those things. It's a fact. It comes to my next point. What are your goals? If you want to enhance your agility, then train that. Train your agility. If you want to be stronger, then maybe weights and resistance training is for you. But a lot of people think that it's for that. But what they don't often realize is that it's also helpful for your mental health. Another article I read, it says countless studies show that many types of exercise, from walking to cycling, make people feel better and can even relieve symptoms of depression. Exercise triggers the release of chemicals in the brain such as serotonin, endorphins, and dopamine that dull pain, lighten mood, and even relieve stress. I think that many of us could benefit from that, and if you feel like you could benefit from that, then maybe looking into different types of exercises that are, again, sustainable for you, then maybe that's what you need to do for that. Sustainability for your diet is just the same as your sustainability for exercise. If you see the person that you're friends with running every day and you want to be like them, but it is just a terrible experience for you, then don't choose running, because exercising will become such a terrible experience for you that you will not want to participate in that. So find something that you can do. Maybe it's just walking on a treadmill. And it's amazing how our technology can help with that today. You can just walk on a treadmill and you can watch a movie while you're doing that. And those small things can become easier for you, and they don't have to be such a miserable thing such as running. And maybe you do like running, in which case continue doing that, and that will be an excellent choice for you. So that is just some brief, small exercise tidbits that can help you consider what your goals are and what your exercise should be. And hopefully these concepts of exercise can help you get to where you want to be. The next point is rest. I think it's pretty easy to disregard this in your physical well-being, because some of us get busy and some of us want to stay up later or wake up later, whatever the case may be. Then maybe their schedule just works one way or the other, or maybe you're getting plenty of sleep. Whatever the case may be, I think that it's important to recognize that it is important for your mind recovery and your muscle recovery. An article I read says that they did tests on rats, and those who were able to sleep more were able to recover physically more. It said that sleep deprived rats, they had a impaired muscle regeneration, and as we get more rest, we will also be able to regenerate that muscle that our body needs. As well as, it could be even more simple than that, is when we don't get enough rest, it is pretty obvious, and we feel groggy, and we can counteract that with managing our time better and including that rest where we need it. I think that time management is important for both making time for that rest, but also as you make time for that rest, you'll be more productive in the day after because of that time management. To sum that up, we just covered some really important points, which would be diet, exercise, and rest. And again, we have a wealth of information, so much information that we could never tap into everything. But I think that the information in this speech could potentially help you utilize that information, and maybe it will encourage you to improve your physical well-being or to satisfy the curiosity you have by just doing extra research. And that is my encouragement to you, is to look into it more and to see how your physical well-being could be impacted from this information. And I thank you for your time, and I encourage you once again to evaluate yourself so that you can improve your physical health should you desire